entertained? Are you not entertained?
Alright, this is King Butcher. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. Post Keith Thurman against Josecito Lopez. Well, what a fucking fight that was. We already have on the line Johnny Boy and Stu Little. What's up, guys?
What's up, Butcher?
What up? Oh, I should introduce Stu since he has an introduction. So...
I wasn't bad, though.
I told you what's going to happen to the price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
All right, so okay, let's go. Your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, very good fight. Very good fight. I mean, I was quite critical of Josecito Lopez. He fought a lot better than I thought he would. But I think when I look into it, was Josecito Lopez a lot better than he usually is, or was Keith Thurman absolutely horrendous? Johnny, can you mute your mic, please?
Sorry about that.
Was Keith Thurman horrendous? And I'd go with the latter. I thought Thurman was horrible last night. I mean, you know, you have to give him a bit of leeway. You know, he's been off for 2 years now. He's been out of boxing 2 years. He's not had a fight. So, you know, his timing was off a little bit. You could see that. Doesn't look 100% fit. I think I told you, like you said, you texted me earlier and said I got it spot on.
Yeah.
When I told you that if you put it on Keith Thurman, he folds. Pressure is his kryptonite. He just doesn't handle the pressure. He's not a thinking fighter. He just panics.
But after that, after Josecito Lopez went down, don't tell me that you didn't think, oh well, this is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be over soon.
Well, yeah, because I was actually thinking, well, you know, what I said about Josecito Lopez seems to be justified. But Lopez just sort of grew into the fight. But what I hated about Keith Thurman, his legs. When he's using his legs, his footwork's horrible. He just circles from left to right, and he does it in a funny way. And while he's doing that, he's got his hands down while he's doing it, and he goes back in straight lines as well. You know, his defense is pretty poor, to be honest with you. I mean, that's circling from left to right. He wasn't really getting away from anyone because he's not quick enough with his feet. So, and Lopez he was cutting off the angles and getting to him quite fast and putting on the pressure. And Keith Thurman folded like I knew he would do. I mean, I actually saw Thurman loading up. John, can you please mute your mic, please, brother? I actually see Thurman loading up, and it was having no effect on Josecito Lopez. He was walking through Thurman's punches to get his own off. And I think if Josecito Lopez had started a bit better, then, you know, he could have got the stoppage. You know, he could have, because Thurman was flagging a bit at the end. But the judge that had it 117-109 to Keith Thurman should never be allowed to judge a fight again, man.
What about the judge that gave it 113-113? Because that judge had Josecito Lopez winning 115-113, but because of the knockdown, or was it? No, wait, hold on. How did they get 113-113 though?
Yeah, but do you honestly think that Keith Thurman won that fight 117-109?
No, I don't. But then, I don't know. Okay, let's get to other people.
I haven't got a problem with the draw scorecard. That's not controversial to me. You know, the 117-109. That's the one you need to be looking at.
Yeah, that's the bad scorecard right there.
Yeah. So on one scorecard, basically, Josecito Lopez won the fight, but it was 113-113 because of the knockdown. Because he went down.
Yeah.
There's
All
no
right.
static coming. There's no static coming through now, is there? When I'm talking.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. I just checking. But I was like Stu said, when you really put it on Thurman, he backs up. He you know, I remember them guys were real critical of De La Hoya for giving the last couple rounds away to Trinidad. Thurman does that shit in every fight, damn near. you know, so. But.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of the guys in the chat were saying about Thurman's footwork. They've compared it to Khan's, and I think they couldn't be more right. 100%. That's exactly who it reminded me of. Keith Thurman just doesn't have much foot speed, but he doesn't use his legs properly. You know, if you're athletic, you can get away from punches without just circling left to right. You know, it's because even Josecito Lopez was managing to close off the angles, and that running wasn't really helping Thurman. You know, you can get away from punching and use your legs by just taking half a step backs here and there, like Klitschko. You know, just judging the distance, not just keep circling around the ring. And then once you get to like the end of the circle, you'll go the other way. And it was just horrendous from Keith Thurman. And like I said, it got to the stage where he was just swinging out of desperation, trying to get Lopez out of there because he couldn't handle the pressure that Lopez was bringing.
That's why I ain't too interested in seeing Pacquiao fight him, because if Pacquiao clips him once, he's going to run around the rest of the fight. I don't want to see that shit, you know. That's why I'm not too interested in seeing Pacquiao fight him either. I'd rather see him fight one of the Garcia boys or Sean Porter.
Yeah, I agree with that. But there's a lot of money involved, so maybe we can get that fight. Or maybe it's going to happen. All right, let's introduce Cameron.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
We also have Recognize the Matrix.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right, we also have Big Boys Boxing, a.k.a. Kiwi Boxing, and Gonzalo. All right, let's start with, I think Cameron got here first. I don't know. Let's go, Cameron. Your thoughts on the fight?
Nah, Gonzalo was here before me, so you can go and I'll go after him.
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
How's my connection?
Pretty good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had spoken well about Keith Thurman, but I regress some. I think he's boxing too much. I had stated that he's a boxer puncher, but he's choosing to box a little too much. And you can just tell, you know, with the shorts he wears and the Shamba Mitchell shorts, the Paulie Malignaggi type of apparel, you know, he just goes in there and he's trying to put on a boxing clinic, trying to run the clock out. But I think it would serve him better if he used his power a little more, because I think your best defense is your offense. If you can't make a statement with your punches, the other guy's going to try to walk you down, and that's what Josecito Lopez did. And he had success with that, you know, and so as you can see, Keith Thurman, he doesn't know how to defend himself that well either as a boxer that he claims or he wants to portray. In the 7th round, he got hit and he froze like a deer in the headlights. So I regress a little on his talent.
Gonzalo, I predicted it, bro. I said as soon as you start getting in Thurman's face and putting the work on him, he folds. So it was no surprise. And what was that pity pat? and pity pat shots he was doing. Yes, he was low. Yes, he was changing the pace on a lot of his punches, and that's what they say you should do. But he was doing a lot of pitter patter work that wasn't having any effect. Sorry, Gonzalo. I just had to get that in. Carry on.
Now that's basically it. He can lay it on heavier, but he chooses to box. Like if people really want to see that, you know. So he's doing a little too much talking, and
Thurman,
he needs to be doing a little more fighting.
Porter put on the pressure against Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman didn't collapse, not collapse, but wasn't hurt the way he was against Jose Lopez, and he looked better than against Josecito Lopez. He actually put on a fight. Whether you think he won or not, he actually put on a fight against Sean Porter. Against Josecito Lopez, I don't know. He kind of moved too much for my liking, man. But let's get to Cameron. Cameron, go ahead. Tell us what you thought about the fight.
I was a bit surprised, but at the same time I wasn't. And the reason is I kind of feel like, Thurman's been off for 2 years, so I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt to some extent. But anybody who's watched Keith Thurman, for a long period of time knows that he's always, kind of backpedaled when he's been under pressure. Soto Carras done it, Diego Chavez. These are guys who really landed on Thurman, and he changed his game plan a bit. I just feel like Thurman, for a while, was walking through these guys, and then once he went through the levels, he knew that he couldn't walk through them anymore, and he's kind of been using this style of fighting. I don't feel like he didn't have to run like he did last night, but because Lopez was tagging him up, I was quite surprised. I feel like Stu said, his timing was off, partly because of, I feel like, the layoff, and also I think he's had a lot of injuries, and I wouldn't be, let's be fair, mentally he's probably still thinking about that. I think it affects him. He's had a lot of injuries over the last few years, so I feel like in terms of physical wise, if I'm going to say this on the podcast like a year ago, I feel like we've seen the best of Keith Thurman already, physically, even though he's still quite young. I think maybe he's not as hungry as he was. I've said this before as well. So I actually worry for Thurman against the likes of Spence and Crawford and guys like that, because I don't actually think he can compete with them guys as much as I used to, especially after last night.
Durability is a major concern when it comes to Thurman, because Josecito Lopez was rocking him to his boots, and and Thurman just didn't look strong enough. He didn't look like a strong 147-pound fighter in there. He looked quite timid, and his punches didn't seem to have any effect. Yes, he dropped Josecito Lopez in the second round with a counter left, I think it was. I can't remember, but it was a good shot. But Lopez weren't hurt, and after that, it was just like I said, Thurman had to fight in that fight because it was his only way of getting Lopez off him, because he just didn't have the footwork to get away from Lopez. Not the foot speed's not good enough. So if you're going to circle around the ring like that, you've got to be quick while you're doing it. And it was just lumbering around the ring, and Lopez was tagging him up.
I feel like Thurman proper worried about loading up on his shots like he used to because of those injuries as well. I think all those injuries mentally are still with him in the ring, and worried about doing this and that and trying not to get. I think last night he tried just not to get injured again. I think that played a part in it.
Yeah, like Cameron said, bro. To be fair, some of that was probably some ring rust, but at the same time, he was supposed to look a hell of a lot better than he did. I mean, and I ain't got nothing against Josecito. He goes out there and bangs, but he was supposed to look impressive against Josecito, and he didn't. So.
And
no, I feel the same way too.
How much energy did he waste doing that running? He's actually blowing his own tank by doing that. Unnecessary movement. Me and Recognize were talking about it the other day. Unnecessary movement, and Thurman did plenty of that.
He had to finish Lopez early, but he let it drag, and then the layoff started to have some effect on Thurman, in my opinion. But go ahead, Recognize.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off that. He looked sharper earlier, willing to stand and engage a little bit. He's still backing up, but it was not to the extent the way he was doing it in the second half of the fight. Excuse me. He looks like he's protecting himself to not get injured. He's been fighting like that.
Yeah,
man. I want to say since like really the Collazo fights when I really started paying attention, when Collazo touched him to the body. And he didn't react well at all. I almost felt like he got a rib broken. They just didn't report it. The way he reacted in that Collazo fight. Since then, he's very timid to the body. Like he knows, like the word is out. Hit me to the body. That's when the fight starts to get a little bit more dangerous for him. And look, I thought he won the fight, but it wasn't impressive. It wasn't an impressive win. I give him a little bit of leeway because he's been off for 2 years with injuries. But when he was getting beat up in the 7th round, I really thought he was going to get stopped at one point.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get stopped too.
All right, let's get some other people who haven't talked. Well, let's get to Big Boys Boxing first. Go ahead, Big Boys. Oh, he probably went to take a shit. All right, let's go.
How about me, the boxing junkie?
Boxing junkie, go ahead.
First off, how you guys doing? Hope everything's good with everybody. But I was watching a video. I believe it was Boxing Beats and Rhymes, saying that Keith Thurman's damaged goods. I believe he's just a shell of what he was, really. Maybe it's the rust. But this is somewhat normal for Al Heyman fighters to be off a fucking year, fight some tomato can. But Josecito Lopez was a little bit more prepared. I agree with Recognize. That body shot is just, that's golden against Keith Thurman. That's his kryptonite right there. And, I think when he caught Lopez, it was just really an off-balance shot. But, he did a lot of running in that fight. And I'm guessing his right hand's injured because he didn't seem to be throwing it proper. He was pushing his punches. He really looked like shit, in my opinion.
Oh, I think we'll agree with you on
I
that.
feel like he's just been injured, man. I feel like he's always no matter how many fights he has now, I just feel like he's gonna have some niggling injury, or his shoulder's gonna be playing up. And once you've had an injury, the bone's never the same again. Like, he's always gonna have an issue. I just feel like he's had that many issues now that Thurman is not done, but physically he's not what he was.
Right.
I think he showed a lot of heart though. In the 7th round, I think he showed a lot of heart.
Oh, what happened?
Still there, the talent's still there, but the body looks like it's breaking down. And like I said, this new style since the Collazo punch just doesn't suit him. He might as well go out on his shield and get knocked out, because fighting like that, he's not going to win any love. That's for sure.
7th round, he was one punch away from being stopped.
Yeah,
it seems like that to me. Yeah, something.
I believe
it almost seemed like if the referee would have stopped it, I would have been okay with it at one point. I'm happy
we recognize it.
Come on.
No, look, he was like not answering back, bro. He was getting fucking rocked, and then on top of that, he's running. It's like,
he's not defending himself.
I saw Miguel Cotto get
and when he would get hit, his head would just jolt back. It's like he was.
Oh, everybody dropped. I say, listen, if you're still moving, if you're still moving,
I agree. I don't think it should have been stopped, but would you it would have been an early stoppage, but it would have been an explanation if the referee had why did you stop the fight? Let's just say he would have said, look, the guy's not fighting back; he's just running.
You remember back in the day. You remember how somebody said how he got a lot more timid after Collazo hit him with the body shot. He's been a lot more timid. Remember back in the day, Camacho got a lot like that after he fought Rosario, bro. Rosario caught him with some shit, and he got real timid after that. He
a lot of people thought Rosario won that fight too.
Yeah, that was a close fight. Yeah.
Recognize this fight reminded me. Remember the Juan Manuel Lopez fight against an African fighter called Rogers Matagua.
Yep.
I know exactly
where he got hit and all. Yep.
And Lopez was in trouble. Was in huge trouble in that fight.
Yep. So I mean, he's putting more he's putting more stock into boxing. And like I said, you can obviously tell by the shorts he wears, by the trunks. You know, them Paulie Malignaggi slickster shorts, the ones Shambo Mitchell used to wear. You know, like boxers tend to do. And his mentality is not there to put on a fight. And I think that the best defense you can have is a good offense, because if not, the other guy's gonna keep attacking you. And he just seems to be pacing around the ring, waiting for the clock to run out. And if you think you're gonna get a better version of Keith Thurman, he might come in more physically prepared, but I don't think we're gonna get a better version of a fighter that's willing to commit. You know, and he's got decent power. He's got heavy hands in his right and his left. He's got good power, but he's not using it. He's not using his hands to punch with conviction. So that's what I have to say about Keith Thurman. You know, he's thinking too much about it. He's putting too much science. He's putting too much science and thought about his boxing when he needs to put a little bit more fighting.
He needs to go for it. Like I said, he should have stopped. After the knockdown, he should have gone and tried to fucking knock him out. Even the round after, go and get him, man. You can get him out. You knocked him down. Go and finish the job. He let it drag too long. Hold on. Sorry, Stu, but we need. Stu, sorry, but we need to get some people, other people in, so then we can like have an open discussion. So, official boxing scorecard. Go ahead, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, man. First of all, believe it or not, there were some things that I liked about Thurman. I mean, he was like running too much for my taste, even in.
Yep. Is he cutting off?
And moving, but on the other hand, he seems to me like he is very vulnerable, too easy to hurt, and I think that he is, to me, from the physical standpoint, his reflexes and quickness were looking all right, but on the other hand, he's still telegraphing too much of his punches for my taste, and one time he got hurt. Since then, he was in full survival mode, and it was terrible to watch. But I think he has the capabilities to do much better. But some things I enjoyed some of the things he was doing. I think he was countering very well. He landed some pretty nice counters, but as all of you said, there was also too much bad things that he did. And he was, especially the second half, he was on his bicycle. It was crazy.
Oh, it was disgusting, man. Captain Hook, go ahead. Give us your thoughts.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What up?
Hope everybody's doing good out there. Yeah, if you go back to two podcasts ago, I was telling y'all that.
Is he cutting off?
Between Keith Thurman, they're calling this a giveaway fight, tune-up fight, whatever. And I was telling y'all that Josecito Lopez is no joke. You can call him a bum, you can call him whatever you want, but that dude is tough, man. Like if you watch any of his fights, the war he got in with Maidana, and then you go watch the last time Thurman came off of a layoff, he got buzzed by Sean Porter, dude. He does the lateral movement, sits down for a punch or a counter, and his timing was off and got buzzed by Sean Porter. And I said it, if he gets hit with a shot and Sean Porter did no work to the body, something that Josecito Lopez does well. And I was telling y'all, if Josecito catches Thurman, it's gonna be a long night for Thurman, and it was, man, because so I don't think it says too much about Keith Thurman. I think it says something about the matchup that he had with Josecito Lopez. So you get your timing's off, you get the ring rust. I don't give a shit what kind of athlete you are. If you're off for 2 years, you're going to be rusty. And then you're fighting a guy who does not stop coming after you. He tracks you down, walks you down, and keeps on it and keeps the pressure on. And Thurman's lucky he didn't get an injury in that damn fight. So that I was trying to warn everybody about that this fight was going to be better than everybody was saying. That Thurman, people were saying out there Thurman was going to knock Josecito Lopez out. You're out of your mind, bro. You guys got to go watch this guy fight, man, because he ain't getting one piece and just walking away.
I agree. I actually put some money on Lopez. He was
So
$500.
What were the odds?
16 to 1. I got it at 16 to 1 on Wednesday night. It went down to 13 to 1 fight the day of the fight.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna have it by anyone telling me that all of a sudden Josesito Lopez has become a world-class welterweight. I'm not.
No. I'm telling you the feat. Go ahead,
I think Thurman. Sorry, as captain. That dominant and devastating, shall we say?
100%. You're absolutely right. Like
Let's
I
be
was
real.
saying, if you get the same,
All Lopez was doing was swinging for the hills, but because Thurman defensively was so bad, they were landing. Do you know what I mean? So,
of course, yeah, that's what I was saying all along. If we see the same Thurman that showed up against Sean Porter after his last layoff, you are going to see Thurman get hurt. And really, I didn't understand the matchup from the beginning. I thought he was actually going to re-injure his elbow. Something like that was going to happen because of the pressure he was going to be feeling. But maybe he didn't.
You know what? I remember you saying that you were going to put some money on it too, Captain Hook. And you know what? Josesito isn't an elite fighter, but he's broke Victor Ortiz's jaw. He gave Maidana a tough fight, so he has been around the block a few times. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, he's tough, man. I'm not saying world-class fighter. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if you have your fighter coming off a 2-year layoff and Thurman's got this power. And listen, hey, I live 30 minutes from where Thurman trains. I like Thurman. I have no problem with Thurman. I'm just saying these guys out here who 78 Sports was one of them. Thurman. And it's like, bro, what fighter are you looking at where you're gonna lay out Josesito Lopez? That dude don't give a shit, man. He comes forward, bro, gets knocked down, and starts walking your ass down again. He's a tough bastard.
What about that last statement? What about that last statement that if he doesn't knock out Josesito Lopez, he's gonna get robbed?
Exactly. What are you talking
insane.
About? It's insane. And go look at his station. I'm listening to it. I'm going out of my mind. I'm like, first of all, on what fucking planet do you think? Why would you
thinks Al Heyman is Mexican?
What the fuck? What is that?
All right, guys. Let's before we continue, let's introduce Kiwi Boxing. He hasn't joined yet. Kiwi Boxing, go ahead. Give us your thoughts.
What's up, y'all? I think we've got to give Lopez a bit of credit. He's improved. I'm not saying he's a world-class fighter. It's definitely contributed to making Keith Thurman look worse. But I do think we've also got to give Thurman a bit of leeway because he has had 2 years out of the ring. He said so himself that we might not see the best out of him in this fight, and we didn't. But I do think we saw some flashes of what Keith Thurman used to be all about. I mean, he's still got pretty good reflexes. His defense isn't too bad. Besides when he gets hurt, he looked really bad in that 7th when he did get hurt. I thought the ref was going to stop the fight. But it's a work in progress. Maybe he is done at elite level, but we're going to have to give him some time to make a proper assessment. I think a couple more fights before he fights an elite fighter, and maybe we'll have a better idea. But Josesito Lopez, what a chin. He's improved. I think his stamina was really good, and good on him for throwing the kitchen sink at least. He did the best he could do, I think. So, yeah, pretty decent fight to watch, I thought.
I want just to add something.
Can I say something real fast?
All right, let official talk, and then Gonzalo, you can go ahead. So go ahead, official.
Okay. It's going to be really quick. Well, Kiwi was saying that Thurman has a nice defense. I can't disagree. I mean, if you take his footwork for his defense, he's doing pretty well with it. But to me, his footwork is his only line of defense. He doesn't know how to block shots. Most of the times he does good by ducking and weaving, but also you saw against Lopez that many times he was ducking below his waist and without watching what shots are coming. So I'm I'm not satisfied with his defense. Besides,
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with that, bro, because I actually think his footwork is terrible. You know, if you're going to walk back in straight lines and then just circle the same way all the time and then go the other way. And the thing is, like I said before, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but he didn't have the foot speed to get away from Lopez, for crying out loud. This, you know, so what's he going to do when there's a world-class fighter in there that knows how to cut off the ring properly and that can punch as well? You know, this guy he's a KO waiting to happen. And I think he gets away from a lot of shots because he actually has decent head movement and body movement. That gets him out of trouble. But if you're going to say what his best defensive skill is, it's definitely not the footwork. Definitely not.
Well, yeah, I can agree with you because he doesn't have a schooled footwork, but he's fast and okay. He passed Lopez, but you're right because Lopez was really bad at cutting the ring off.
Gentlemen, am I the only one that was screaming at the goddamn TV for him to tie up Lopez in that round?
No, you're not.
He was doing every goddamn thing, but not run this way, run that way, get your head snapped back again. Fucking, he would not tie him up.
I was doing the exact opposite because I had money on it. So I was fucking speaking Spanish, cheering Lopez on.
Can I say something real quick?
Money on Lopez too, you know, but it's just the way it is, you know.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
No, fucking somebody brought up 78 before. He's a racist cocksucker, first of all. Secondly, he's from my backyard. You know, he fanboys so hard for all these Heyman fighters, bro. Like I say, listening to him bitch about the Charlo Tony Harrison decisions was one of the most satisfying things I've ever heard in my life. Love getting robbed, Triple G getting robbed, Pacquiao getting robbed, but then it happens to your boy and you want to cry the blues like your goddamn BB King or something.
Thank you for all that. I agree 100%.
I was watching his breakdown, like I said earlier, of this fight, and really his narratives will tell you where his head's at. So basically, his breakdown was Thurman knocks him out, or and if it goes to the cards, he'll get robbed. So like basically what he was saying even before the fight, even before it had a chance to go to the cards. So let me ask you a question. If he's saying that, he doesn't have an open mind because. So you're telling me that there was zero chance that Lopez could have won that on points? That's where his head's at. So you see at the end when they do read the cards, regardless of what the decision is, if it's not for his guy, if it's not for who he's backing, he's already set himself up before the bell even rings. It's a robbery. It's a robbery if he doesn't win. So that tells you where his head's at.
And not to mention, like I say, I made a video about this too, bro. He's already making excuses just in case Errol Spence looks bad against Mikey. He's already making excuses, just in case Mikey, and I already picked Spence to win, but just in case he looks bad, he's like, man, if Mikey even makes it to the last bell, bruh, he's getting robbed. And, like, shut up, dude.
So don't you expect that Mikey Garcia, if he was going to do anything, would win? Like, what are the chances that he's even going to get the knockout? What are the chances he'll win on points? So like, no matter what, you're ready for the conspiracy. I get it. Boxing is a shady thing when it goes to the judges. I understand, but if you're calling foul at everything, and only the things foul that aren't going your way, it kind of gets to the point where maybe you don't know all that much about boxing. It's maybe you just like to back your guy.
And like I say, Danny Garcia is fighting Granados in a couple months. Granados is from my backyard, bro. So obviously I'm going to root for the kid from my backyard, bro. You know what I'm saying? But just other than that, he bases all that shit on race, bro. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to.
Look, Granados going into that fight. There's room to give it to Danny Garcia because they're going to give it to Danny Garcia. That's the way the politics go. We don't like it, but to make it look like it's opposite. Imagine me sitting here telling you, oh man, if Granados makes it to the 12th round, they're going to give it to Granados. You're gonna be like, yo, what? You're not paying attention to the politics then, because you obviously you would say it's gonna favor Danny Garcia. That's what's gonna favor, because Danny Garcia has a brighter future. They matched him up against pretty good names already, so they're more familiar and comfortable with a guy like Garcia.
Right.
It was the same thing that he said about Thurman, that he was going to get robbed if it goes to the cards. Why the fuck would you put up Josecito Lopez over Keith Thurman? On what fucking planet would Al Heyman pick Lopez over Thurman? What does that serve? How does that serve him? So it's it's fucking ridiculous. Don't even start
This is
it.
the guy that's got food stamps on a book with a block of government cheese and the Nintendo out. I don't know if you got it.
I don't know about that.
Can I say something?
To the 80s. Did anyone see that? His time capsule.
Bro, he's one of them guys. I grew up around cats like him, bro. He's one of these dudes, man. I remember back in the 1994, I used to be getting money on the block and all this. I grew up around fucking guys like that, bro. He reminiscing about the 1985s in every fucking video. Like, bro, it's over.
Yeah,
move
dude,
on.
It's 2019. Come on, man.
Yeah, move
grow
on,
up.
bro.
Grow up.
I don't care what you did in '94.
Right, I'm saying.
Yeah, can I say something? Yeah, I hope I'm not coming in broken.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
About Keith Thurman. Yeah, if there's a term to use, when they use the word exposed, I think I would. He got exposed. When they talk about the blueprint is out. When Oscar De La Hoya fought Mayweather, he didn't beat him, but the blueprint was out. You could see Thurman's limitations with his footwork. Thurman was exposed in a sense.
I don't think he was exposed at all. I think it's a mismatch that you put up a guy with a high pressure fighter off of a fighter that has ring rust when he comes back. So you could compare the same thing of Sean Porter in a way, if you will, exposing him, if that's what you're going to say, how he gets caught with big shots like that. I don't think Thurman got exposed, and like to put pressure on Thurman. I mean, I don't think that's a real game plan. I think you'd have to see something a little bit more than that to expose him. I think he's he gets his pack off, right?
It's like
if I was Spence,
he got hurt in the 7th round. He got hurt in the 7th round.
Gonzalo,
yeah.
Let me just say this real quick. If I was Spence, I'm aiming at his chest the whole fight.
Sure.
I'm aiming at his chest, arms, everything, and I'm gonna get the stoppage.
I just want to say something to Captain Hook. You said it's going to take more than just pressure to trouble Thurman. So what did Josecito Lopez do last night apart from pressure? Because there was no method behind his work. It was just swinging for the heels. So I'd just like you to break that down for me.
Like I said, even before this fight happens, the first person that cuts off that damn ring, when he starts getting off and running around doing his circling, he circles, sits down, punches. The first person that cuts off the ring and goes to the body, I said all of this before the fight happened, is going to get a stoppage over Keith Thurman. But the idea is, like, what I'm saying is he wasn't, you can't represent Keith Thurman off of a layoff fight. I didn't understand this matchup from the very beginning, but, obviously I
understood it.
It's a cherry pick. Almost
like Mike Tyson says. Like Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a game plan until they get hit. We've seen
it's true.
Thurman. We've seen Thurman hit to the body by Collazo, and what did he do? He backed up the whole round. He got hit by Josecito. What did he do? He was like a deer caught on the headlights. He didn't have a game plan, so he can have a game plan. A capable way of defending himself. That's what I saw. By being exposed, that's what I saw. When the man's hurt, there's people that get hurt and they can defend themselves, like an animal when he's wounded. You got the fight, flight, or freeze. Thurman is freezing. You know, he's not fighting back; he's freezing. So that's what I mean. If he gets put in there with the puncher, what's going to happen? Does he have a game plan for that?
Keith Thurman actually closed his eyes and started swinging. Now, anyone with a bit of quality, I mean, Lopez was rushing his work himself, and he's not exactly Mr. Accurate himself. So anyone with a bit of quality behind their punches, right? When Keith Thurman is sticking his head down, looking at the fucking canvas and swinging for the hills, he's there for the taking. He's seriously there for the take. I really like Keith Thurman. I don't like being hard on him, but I have to just come on here and tell you what I saw last night, and that's what I saw.
I think actually in this case, I think I know Stu, like he just said, likes Keith Thurman. Like I told you, he's from my hometown. I like Keith Thurman. I think that's what you get here at the BDA. Like you don't get people that are just. So there's two people right here that have that have hold on.
Look, Captain.
That have been, yeah, hold on a second. That have coming down on Keith Thurman, and at the same time, we still like him. So I think that's the good part about this podcast.
Look, man, Captain, I'm from Tijuana. I'm from Tijuana, Mexico. Jaime Munguia's from Tijuana. I grew up in the boxing gyms in TJ. You know, Jaime Munguia was doing a good job of blocking the punches with his face. That's just the truth. You know, am I going to root for Munguia? Probably, but the truth is he needs a lot of work, you know. So it's an unbiased what do you call on everybody here to share what really boxing knowledge is all about.
I got a question. I got a question real quick. I was looking on the ESPN guide for the Kovalev and Alvarez fight next weekend. That shit ain't on there. Did that shit get called off or something? Because I seen something about how he punched some chick or some shit.
Oh, that I don't know. I mean, I heard about the room. I heard about the incident that he's being accused of beating up some woman, but that the fight got called off. I mean, it's just Saturday coming up, yeah. So
yeah, the fact is, he's going to be on bail, and when you're on bail, you're innocent till proven guilty in court. So the fight has to go ahead. Now, if he got charged this week with it, and it'd gone to court and been found guilty, then it would have been a different story. But that fight's on. You know, there's no reason that fight shouldn't be on.
No, because hang on one second, official. I was just gonna say because I was just asking because on the guide it doesn't say that shit. It says Oscar Valdez versus the Italian kid and Richard Comey and shit. It doesn't say nothing about Kovalev on the guide. That's why I was like, what the hell? Did the fight get called off? You know what I'm saying? So.
I just wanted to say that I think I read that the trial is starting in February, so in late February. So I think the fight goes on, but it's probably just the case of not promoting the fight. At least I hope so.
Okay, for sure. I was just wondering.
The only thing I've heard in the recent about fights being off or changing was the Santa Cruz fight. I didn't hear anything about Kovalev's fight being off. I know Santa Cruz is still on. He's just a different opponent. I think Rivera, I think.
Yeah, Rivera.
I tried to go on Munguia quickly. I mean, I haven't seen the fight, so I can't really judge his performance, but I do know that he's horrible defensively, and
he's horrible defensively.
That's the actual
vibe
I'm getting from the boxing fans. That again, it was a terrible defensive display. You know, the comments I was getting was he was blocking punches with his head, which he does. He's very good at that. So this guy's just a tough Mexican that obviously brings a lot of pressure, and he snatches your heart from you, and he hits hard as well, and he's young. So he's a horrible style for anyone. He's a bit like Sean Porter, but Sean Porter's got a bit more craft about him. But he's a very dangerous guy, but it's a matter of time before one of these big guys, exploits that fucking terrible defense of his.
Yeah, if it were Triple G landing those flush overhand rights, I don't know what to say. Because Inoue is a strong guy from where it appeared in the fight, but he doesn't have a strong punch, a hard punch. So he was pressuring him. He wasn't able to.
And if Munguia gets hit by the way Triple G and Canelo were hitting each other, he's getting hurt bad.
Somebody hit. Oh, go ahead, Gonzalo. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, and all I think what would happen with that, it just turned into a bloodbath, to see who was the stronger fighter. He would put up an exciting fight, but in the end,
He
it
would.
wouldn't end well.
Yeah, because he's young. He's young, and these guys. So
Yeah, exactly.
when you're fighting a man,
yeah,
when you're a young man and you're strong, fighting a man who's strong, you know, that man is going to beat you. 9 out of 10 times, the man is going to beat you.
Somebody had brought up De La Hoya before, bro. I think it was you. I think it was you, Gonzalo, brought up De La Hoya. A '90s De La Hoya would have kicked the shit out of Floyd Mayweather, and he was older when Pacquiao fought him too. But the thing is, when Pacquiao fought him, he jumped up 2 weight classes, bro. You know what I'm saying? A young De La Hoya was an absolute animal, bro. De La Hoya in the '90s.
Yeah, De La Hoya in the '90s would have probably beat Manny Pacquiao coming up in weight because just would have been too strong, too big.
I think that La Hoya was naturally a left-hander converted into.
You notice is when the way they hook. You know, it gets me crazy. No, he's orthodox. But his bread and butter, like Danny Garcia, his bread and butter is his left. He's a lefty.
Yeah.
Is Butcher there?
Yeah,
you know, guys,
you people are cutting off. That's the thing. I hear, like when Gonzalo was speaking, he was cutting off, and then when somebody else was speaking, they were cutting off as well. But I noticed that it's only coming from my end because I asked the chat.
That's what I was concerned about. I was like, am I breaking up, or is it just everybody?
No, it's me. I don't know why you guys are breaking up sometimes. So that's why I was typing. I was telling Stu on Skype. But anyways,
from my side. Since I plugged this Ethernet cable in, mate, it's good from my side. So yeah, it's usually me the one that's cutting out and can't hear anyone.
All right, you guys go ahead.
Keith Thurman admitted that he was hurt to the body in training by Winky Wright. You know, and Winky Wright wasn't a big puncher. He was left-handed though, but he admitted in training that he's been hurt to the body.
Yeah, but sparring, world-class fighters get dropped in sparring by average fighters sometimes because it depends what period in their training camp they are. If they've just got in camp, a lot of fighters don't live the life. They go on the piss and they do the coke and they eat the kebab sort of thing. So it depends. You know, it's like when Kovalev got dropped by Golovkin. I mean, I believe the story was that Kovalev was Golovkin was at the end of a 3-month training camp. And Kovalev had just, joined the gym that week sort of thing. So it just depends with training. There's a lot of sparring stories, it doesn't really mean a lot for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I got these kids telling me that Keith Thurman would beat a young De La Hoya and a young Trinidad and shit. I'm like, you're crazy as hell, bro. You're crazy.
You're out of your mind.
Who's that? Who's saying that?
You'd have to see a hell of a lot more than what we've seen in order to make a statement like.
That's a pressure fighter. He's a come forward fighter. He would have played right into Trinidad's hands and got knocked out, bro. Like that's Trinidad like that shit. You're coming at me. That's perfect for Trinidad. He would have left hooked. He would have hit him with the hook and got him out of there, bro. Yeah.
More than that, I don't like. Besides talking about how, it's just like you just named world-class fighters in there, and you're trying to put this guy up in it. And who have you seen Thurman? And once again, I like Thurman, but who have you seen Thurman go against that would make you believe that he's on a world-class level? Just name the opponent. I'm ready for it, and then we'll start talking. But I haven't seen that.
No, I think he's got the ability. He's got the ability, and he's got the talent. But he's putting too much stock into his boxing. It's like when BDA says skills pays the bills. Yes, skills will help you, but you also need to use raw aggression and power. And he possesses that, but he's not using it. He's trying to be too cute in there, and why he's doing that is not working out well for him.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not working. I'm not going to say it's not working out for him. It's working out for him pretty damn good because he's, undefeated.
Well, just look at it like this. Look at it like this. When you go into a fight with someone and you've basically been told, you hear that, the bell in the 12th round, you hear that. you're going to win on the cards because we've got you covered. So all the guy has to do is survive. So it sort of like changes the mentality. It's like, wow, that's a real bad noise. It's when you go away to someone's backyard, you've got a different mentality. You can't fight like Keith Thurman did because you're not going to win a title in someone's backyard fighting like that. You have to change things up. And I think it gets in there, especially these PBC fighters. I think all they've got to do is turn up, hear the bell, and the rest is done for them. And I think it's a mentality thing.
Look, Thurman dropped Josecito in the second round. Thurman has heavy hands. If he would have put more pressure on Josecito, and beat him up a little more instead of boxing, he could have got him out of there most likely sooner rather than go to the 12 rounds. But he decided to box him, and he put it on the table, and Josecito came back. That's what I'm saying. He could have saved himself all that trouble, all that damage he incurred in the 7th round if he would have applied more pressure. His offense would have served him better as a defense, as his actual boxing mentality did to try to do good in the match.
Well, go ahead, bro.
Sorry.
I was going to say it's the best line of defense is attacking because when your opponent's under pressure and he's the one covering up, he's not throwing punches at you. And I know there's more to it than that. Boxing is a difficult sport to break down when it comes to tactics and things like that. But it can be quite simple, really.
Yeah, plain and simple. If he feels your power, he's not gonna come in so confidently. And if you give him room to think you want to pity pat with me, the guy's gonna want to come, especially Josecito Lopez. He got heart. But if you want to pity pat with me, he's gonna come in there and try to land something really good. He's not gonna want to pity back with you.
And when
Thurman can't punch.
When they had the face off at the weigh-in, bro, Keith Thurman was up there trying to give him the crazy eyes and shit, and Lopez was just like, "Dude, get out of here, bro, with that shit." So I knew.
Yeah, I don't know what Keith Thurman's not scared. Does he realize he doesn't scare nobody with that shit?
Yeah, I know. He's up there trying to give him the crazy eyes. Josecito's looking at him like, "Bitch, get out of my face." The fuck, yeah.
You know how this fight played out between him and Lopez is, if you go back and look at it, it played out just like the fight with Guerrero. So like Thurman in the beginning pressed some action. He dropped Guerrero or just hurt him. I can't remember which, but definitely hurt Guerrero with like a body shot. Didn't move in to seal the deal. Let him get out of the round, and that fight ended up going the distance as well. And it wasn't, the only difference is that Guerrero tired out at the end and got caught with a fucking massive uppercut and dropped him. Didn't knock him out, but dropped him. But as if you start doing your research, kid was like I think state champion, I want to say, cross country runner. So it was like this guy's got lungs, dude. He's not going to tire out at the end of a round. He's got distance,
Yeah, he's a good fighter, but it was hard for us to believe with all the heart he does possess for him to win the fight. He kind of reminds me, not in styles, but like a Gabe Rosado. He puts it all in the line. He's going to go in there and put up a good fight, but you really don't know if he's going to win most of the time because he's got a lot of losses, even though they're close fights. You can't really say he has that little extra to come out on top as far as skills are concerned. But he's a good fighter. It's like an Arturo Gatti, exciting fighter. Yeah.
You live in Florida. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, it's all right, Joe. I was just going to quickly say, can you imagine if Mikey pulls it off against Spence? I mean, the PBC have had a terrible time of it lately.
78's going to off. 78's going to off himself if Mikey beats
Suicide watch for the whole LBBC. Suicide watch.
Suicide rates will be up in the US, that's for sure.
All right. Hopefully I don't cut off.
I just don't know how he would make that happen, though.
Hopefully I don't cut off here.
I was in San Diego.
Yeah.
I was in San Diego, California, and like about from a block away, I looked over and I saw somebody. And Robert Garcia. And everything. That was just kind of cool that I recognized him from afar. He's cool dude.
Johnny, did you want to say something? Because I think I interrupted you by mistake. Did you want to say something, Johnny?
Yo, guys.
No, I was just gonna say 78's a Malteser with eyeballs, like Conor McGregor said.
Hey, but have you heard the news that supposedly Conor McGregor raped some girl in Dublin, just like last week or something like that?
I never know what to believe when I hear that shit anymore, man. Unless you get accused of a bunch of shit like R. Kelly or some damn buddy, you know.
Yeah.
I never really know what to believe. I always take that shit with a grain of salt when I hear some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
So, what about
gentlemen, real quick? You were talking about that Munguia kid, all right? Go back and watch the fight when he was on HBO, using his head as a goddamn punching bag, and the way they were talking about him being the next golden boy and this and that, and Munguia. Oh man, he was the best thing ever.
Well, I mean, I remember watching the Hebrew Hammer. I don't know if you guys remember him recently, and they were talking about this guy because he had a padded record. He was like 25-0 or something, like 20 KOs, right? And he is probably technically the worst fighter I've ever seen in a boxing ring. And I don't know what was more embarrassing, his performance or the fact that 20 people have lost to this guy. Do you know what I mean? He was fucking awful. But the commentary were talking about him like he was the next Jake LaMotta.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. The Hebrew Hammer.
Yeah. He was fucking dreadful. Horrible fire. Who was it?
Dimitri Salida, you're talking about, yeah? Who are you talking about?
No, the Hebrew Hammer.
Who is the Hebrew Hammer? Rings a bell, but I can't remember.
Yeah, he fought once. I've only seen him fight once, and hopefully that'll be the last time as well, because he was.
You remember his name?
I don't know his government name, but just the Hebrew Hammer. They played him a couple times on HBO, and that was
Cletus Selden.
Yeah.
Cletus. There you go.
The Hebrew Hammer. The Hebrew Hammer. Oh shit.
Did you guys watch the Kaunaki fight?
Yeah.
Oh man, he fucking.
Yo, guys.
He took out. Yeah.
Milwaukee knocked out Washington in what? 2 rounds or 1 round?
2 rounds.
All right. Hold on. Was Wilder losing against Gerald Washington?
Hold on. Gonzalo, let Bucho speak. Go ahead.
Was Wilder losing to Gerald Washington?
I thought so for sure.
Now, somebody in the chat before that we started, somebody mentioned that it's because Wilder softened Gerald Washington. That's why he lost in 1 round
bullshit.
or 2 rounds.
Did you see the fight?
Washington is shot, man. He is shot.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with what Wilder did. Wilder
he's just shot, man.
Yeah, that's horse shit. That's horse shit.
Yeah, but don't you have to be good? Don't you have to be good at one stage to be called shot at another stage? Because I don't even think he ever was. So it's like he was shot the day he fucking put a pair of gloves on to me.
Oh yeah, he was.
The problem with Washington, he's too passive. He's too passive. When you're a boxer, when you're a big guy like that, you got to use what you have, your size. You can't be passive.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, he looks good.
Oh, go ahead, Cam. My bad, buddy.
No, I was just going to say, he's always had a shit gas tanker as well. I mean, he's not got any sort of decent win on his resume. So he's not even proven, man. He's just been beat by the top guys he's fought.
You want to see what shot looks like, and I love the guy. He was one of my favorites of all time, Arturo, bro. After the Mickey Ward fights, Gotti had been in 1,000 wars at that point. That's what being shot looks like. You know what I'm saying? The Gotti that fought Alfonso Gomez and right at the very end there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because what has Washington done to be shot? I mean, where are all these wars that Washington's been in that's going to take away his fucking fight from him? Because the guy he looks $1 million, doesn't he?
He's fresh. He's fresh.
He does. Yeah. There's no excuse. Just not good enough, mate. Just not good enough. But you know, at the end of the day, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Don't matter what trainer you got in the corner. It don't matter how Al Heyman's there with the judges in the pocket. If you're not fucking good enough, it doesn't matter. You know, you still got to have a bit of talent. And unfortunately, like, he ain't got it. He's not good enough.
He also didn't have a game plan.
Or Eric Morales at the end that fought Danny Garcia. That's what being shot looks like after he's been in 100 wars. And like Stu said, where are all these wars that would make him shot to begin with? You know what I mean? So
he didn't have a game plan even. Like he didn't have a game plan. There was no obvious game plan. He just stood there and Konaki just walked through the guy.
Konaki, I didn't expect that. I expected that to go at least 7 or 8 rounds. I didn't expect to go. You know, it was just every time he was tagging Washington, there was some sort of effect happening. Every time.
It took Konaki 4 rounds to dispatch Spilka. You know, and how many did it take Wilder?
9.
5.
9.
Oh, Spilka, yeah. 10. I think 10.
How do you pronounce that Polish kid's name?
Konaki.
They ought to throw him and Big Baby in there together. That'd probably be.
Mate, he's there for Wilder. They're building him up for Wilder. What do you think he's on that card for?
Right.
Yeah, they build him up for Wilder.
Well,
that's right.
For Wilder. That's in case things don't work out between Fury and himself. That might be his next opponent, or Brazil.
Brazil.
No, it's not. It's not a bad opponent. I agree with you, Cameron.
Well, hold on. I don't think they would put this Polish guy against Wilder. I think they rather put Dominic Brazil. They could sell it easy, and it's an easier fight in my opinion. I mean, come on, Brazil, give me a fucking break.
Konaki could do damage to Wilder. He definitely could.
Yeah,
if he catches him, shit, he might put his ass down.
Chris Gonzalez in the chat saying that Inoue looks like a baby butterbean. It's true.
Yeah.
Looks like Butterbean.
Yeah, that
cat's
in about as good a shape as I am, bro.
Ben Casares in the chat says the chubby Mexican heavyweight just got robbed against Parker. Oh,
Ruiz.
Yeah, that would be a good fight. Fight of the fatties. I'd like to watch that. That'll be interesting.
I had Andy Ruiz beating Parker. Like legit. I had Andy Ruiz winning that fight.
Yeah, me too.
It was close.
It was a close fight, but I thought Ruiz did a little bit more.
By the way, I read somewhere that
a good fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have him.
He's a good fighter.
Just have him and Big Baby Miller fight, and they all the winner gets lifetime pass to Burger King, bro.
Baby might win then.
The Sons in the chat said Konaki versus Andy Ruiz. I mean, that is a fight of the fatties, but that'd be a really exciting fight. That's definitely a fight I'd watch.
Yeah. I'm tired of these fights that are like happening with the top 3 heavyweights, where like they're interchanging opponents. Like Brazil fights Joshua, now Brazil fights Wilder, then what else? Like Povetkin.
Charles Martin, they'll throw him in the mix.
God. Well, that's what the PBC does, not just with the heavyweights. That's the pattern they have.
Didn't Konaki knock out Charles Martin?
No, but he beat the shit out of him, though.
But he beat him up, though. But it went the distance.
Yeah, it went to points. He whooped his ass, though.
Charles Martin's gash, man. One of the worst heavyweight champions of all time. He's out there with Thurman.
Can you believe?
What was his favorite line? I walk with the gods.
I walk this earth like a god.
I walk this earth like a god.
I'm like, man.
Can you believe Charles Martin is gonna be referred to as like the former heavyweight champion?
And America's former heavyweight champion in the world.
How pathetic.
And that was there for the taking for Wilder. He just never took it. That was there for the taking.
I
you
think
see
that
the
they
video
want
when
to
he
take
was
that chance.
eating Molly?
He touches Wilder. That's what it's all about. I think that's what it comes down to. It's not that Wilder can't beat these dudes. They're
Charles Martin's still
Once.
sixth or seventh on the LDBC pound for pound list. We know that.
yeah.
I think boxing junkie. I hear you trying to get in, bro. Come on.
It was about Charles Martin in this video. He was eating Molly, I believe, with the gun and shit.
Oh yeah.
What he did? I didn't hear that. What happened?
Oh, he dropped off.
He jumped off. But Charles Martin's done a lot of weird interviews on his, a lot of weird videos on his Instagram. Like since he lost to Joshua, he did some weird shit on his Instagram. He was smoking weed and doing drugs, and he had a gun in his hand. He was rapping and everything, and he gave himself a name.
That's what happens when you walk with the gods.
Yeah, man, he walked with the gods.
Boxing junkie's back, so I want to hear what you have to say.
So what was that video about? Boxing junkie. What was that?
He had an AR-15, I believe.
Okay, nice.
He's eating Molly, and he's going off about how he's the best champion ever, and put him up there with Ali and shit like this. And
I was like, "Yo, did AJ hit you that hard, bro?" God,
I mean, it's some comedy shit, man. Google that shit.
Well, every time Joshua hit him, Charles Martin was on the deck.
Charles Martin O'Malley. It'll come right up.
He's just a weird guy, man. Charles Martin's he does a lot of weird shit on his Instagram.
My uncle's got an AR. We went out to the woods one time and sprayed that shit, and I chopped up a couple of squirrels, and you know.
You think about Charles Martin? He confuses probably whipping his whole city's ass wherever he's from, and like he's probably one of those guys that was so big, like and athletic that he can probably beat the shit out of like 95% of the people that lived around him, and he confuses that for the world. And they get into they just go to a culture shock, right? Yeah. When they find out the world is not his neighborhood, you know, where he can beat everybody up.
I think Marcellus Wilder found that out.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's from Alabama, so he could probably beat up a lot of. I'm not saying that Alabama's weak. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he's probably from a small town in Alabama where he could beat everybody up, him and his brother. And he fought some cupcake that could beat his ass.
Yeah, here in Baltimore, we got 9-year-olds that'll just blow their fucking head off.
Hey, in the chat,
like Carneval did to Omar.
In the chat under Coveration,
exactly.
In the chat under Coveration, he's saying that he read somewhere that having a big belly can help you with generating momentum.
Man, the way they killed Omar off was weak, bro. That shit was garbage. He should have went out. Man, that still pisses me off. The way they got Omar at the end of the wire.
Yeah, that was.
And by the way, I don't have any guns. I don't own any, and I never did. Just for
That's
the
good.
record.
By the way, I don't have any guns, but.
Nah, you already said you had a bunch of guns recognized. Too late.
No, you didn't let me finish. You should let me finish. I said, by the way, I don't have any guns, but if you come to my house, you will get shot.
I got a taser gun. That's about it. Like, if you come to, I got given a taser gun. That's the only thing I got. It fucking works a treat.
Yeah, you can't have guns. Well, we can't have guns either in Canada, so we're kind of fucked.
Cameron, I was reading back a little while back, yeah, that this guy in the UK, he's got a job, girlfriend, everything going for him, yeah. Good guy, never been in trouble before. Bought a laser, a stun gun. He bought one on eBay. Police tracked him down, man. Arrested him. He got 2 years in prison. Lost his job. His girl left him. The man's in prison. Never had a fight in his life, and he's all around these drug dealers and that lot. All because he fucking bought a laser on. What are they called again? We call them stun guns. What do they call them over there?
Yeah, stun gun.
Yeah, stun gun, bro. Yeah, same thing.
You do call them that. So yeah, the guy got fucking 2 years in prison just for buying one on eBay. So
Cameron has knives. Yeah, well, we
Dude,
do.
let me tell you something. That's pathetic. You see, look, a place where boxing junkies from Baltimore. I got some stats for you in Baltimore, and I'm sure that boxing junkie knows it. All right, they have one of the highest murder rates in America. Highest.
Unfortunately, my brother's one of them murder rates.
And I'm sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I grew up in New York where at a time in the 90s where the murder rate was the highest. And my brother, I got a brother who got murdered too. This right around the same time where, you know, like Baltimore was top 3 in homicides. New York was around that ballpark at that time. Now, here's the thing about Baltimore, okay? Baltimore has one of the strictest gun laws, okay? They have one of the strictest gun laws in order for you to get a gun. Not the state of Maryland, I'm talking about the city of Baltimore. Now, there's a stat year by guns. How many people get killed in a city and how many of them get killed by guns? Baltimore last year, 80% of their homicide victims were by guns. Ready for this? Over 90% of them got shot in the head. In the head. Okay? So now think about this. You got the toughest gun laws where the private citizens have to, you know, they obey the laws. A lot of them don't have guns. But we all know that the criminal element in Baltimore, those boys got guns. They don't follow the law. They got themselves guns.
Baltimore's like Detroit, bro. They don't, yeah. I had a buddy go out there. He used to get pounds of reefer and shit out there and bring it back to over here. And he got fucking shot up out there, too. And Detroit's another one, like Baltimore, just crazy shit, dangerous, you know.
And these liberals, you have these fucking liberals, these Hollywood movie stars telling us that we can have guns, right? But they have security guards, fucking fences protecting their fucking mansions. But now we have to live with like what? Well, fucking pocket knives. Get the fuck out of here.
Hollywood stars make me sick to my stomach just watching them. They do. They creep me out. They're fucking weirdos.
Saving the environment. Like, shut up, bro.
I mean, all of a sudden, De Niro's a man for the people. All of a sudden, you know, he's a snowflake. This is a guy that stamped people's brains out of movies, and all of a sudden, he's the good guy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. This guy's a nice person because he's famous.
You obviously haven't watched Goodfellas, but talking of Baltimore, now you can see why there's so much crime in Baltimore. If I lived in a city that ugly, I'd want to kill people too.
Listen, Boxing Junkie can tell you the waterfront areas in Baltimore, which I want to say is more
$1 million
like
property.
These shit are beautiful. I'm telling you, Stu, you will drool. It's that beautiful. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but
what's going on?
The thing is, though, bro, it's no good if you can't go to the fucking city centre.
I agree with you. The problem with Baltimore and Boxing Junkie, you could help me out with this, but it's too democratic. Everything is all Democrats, and they haven't done shit with the city because they know they're going to get voted in no matter what. Because you know, blacks tend to vote very high for the Democratic Party. You know, and Baltimore is a large population where there's a lot of blacks. I think it's like 70% or something like that. 70% blacks. So they're not worried.
There's a lot of blacks.
They're not worried about
the goddamn white boy I saw for 10 fucking years. Me and my brother. Yeah. I mean, the only white boys weren't even. When I was 18, I shot a man in the head, okay? And it cost me, my family, a home. My family actually had shit, all right? And I wanted to stay in the city. And they wanted me to go to the county. And a man got shot. It ended up costing me about $250,000 when I look back at it to fucking beat that case. And the funny thing about it is the motherfucker was robbing me. All right? He was stabbing me in the face with a bottle. I shot him in the face. All right? I thought I was tripping. He got up off the ground holding his head. And I'm like, I just shot this motherfucker. All right. And
this happened in your home. In your own home, right?
No, but in my neighborhood. There is no self-defense law in Maryland at all.
This is what I'm saying. Baltimore, Maryland doesn't your citizens are not, they're not protected. Fight says go kill. Because criminal elements do not believe in the law. I mean, they just don't believe in the law. That's it. I mean, if that's hard for you to figure out, then damn, I feel sorry for you. You know, it's like
I still don't fuck with the law. You know, I don't give a fuck. Fuck them cops.
Fun fact to tie into our earlier discussion: Charles Martin, he was shot in the forearm.
Yeah, I believe
yes, he was.
Just to get it back to that,
probably explains why he never let his hands go.
What's that?
I said probably explains why he never lets his hands go.
All right, a little tough.
Well, that's why he walks with the gods. He survived a shot to the forearm. He's like, dude, I walk with God.
For sure.
Well, yeah. I think that fight against Anthony Joshua, he nearly met God that night.
He must have heard the bullet.
Luis Ortiz.
That punch hurt more than the bullet.
You know what Jesus told Wilder before he left? He said, "Don't do nothing until I get back."
I think that Wilder Fury fight gets made this week. Actually,
I hope it does.
Because February 5th is the deadline. No, I believe so. But February 5th is the deadline. Then it goes out to bid.
Wilder's gonna beat the shit out of the air in that fight. I know that.
So what's up with that fight? Is it going to be in Vegas, in America, or in UK?
Probably in Vegas.
I think it'd be fair to have it over in the UK, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, I mean, it would be fair, but we know that they're not going to allow. Maybe Wilder might be up for it, but Al Heyman's going to be like, nah.
But no, I think Al going to allow it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think if Al Heyman said, "Listen, I think we're good. We should go to Vegas. We should go to UK and rack up on the dough," he would do it. But I doubt that's going to happen.
It's a 50-50 split, though.
Oh yeah,
it has to be. That's what they've been. Well, who knows what you see in the media, but that was the whole deal. Like, because it was a draw last time, they wanted to do a 50-50 split. But I think it's from a fan base. Wilder's got to build up more of a fan base in America. No one knows who the fuck that guy is, man. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing. So if they fight over in Europe, I don't know. I don't think he'd build his fan base. So Heyman might.
Hey, recognize.
Tell him to stay here.
Recognize. This is boxing, okay? So do you think it's totally entirely out of the realm of possibility that Wilder can knock out? What's his kid's name? Tyson Fury?
Yeah, I mean, he almost did. So
this is boxing.
So I did anyway. So it just didn't happen. He landed the punch that he needed to land. Now, do I think Tyson Fury can knock out Wilder? The answer is yes, and I think that's a bigger problem. That's a bigger problem. You see, we already knew Wilder could probably knock out Tyson Fury. We knew he could drop him. We knew that he could hurt him. But now that I've seen the fight, and I can see that even when he got hurt, got back up, he's rocking Deontay Wilder. If he makes the proper adjustments, which I'm almost banking that he will, why would I be surprised if he stops him? If he stops Wilder at this point?
And plus, Wilder stood a better chance in the first match. But now when Tyson Fury is in a better shape, it's going to be more difficult.
And he'll be in better rhythm for Wilder. He'll know how to.
Sure.
He knows what to expect from him now, right?
Sure.
So. Fury throwing Ellie Sec back out of the gym was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life, bro. That shit was hilarious. He's like, "It's not me, man."
Yeah, that was funny, bro. That was funny. I remember that.
He's like, he didn't even man up to it neither, recognize. He He's like, it's not me, man.
Yeah, he's a sucker.
Yeah.
Sucker ass. He's what you call he's one of those dudes you just call a herb. Like back in the day, shit. You're a fucking herb.
Ellie sat.
Give me your fucking money, bitch ass motherfucker.
Herb, yeah.
Ellie Setback is a tedious little turd.
Yeah.
Can't stand the man. I can't stand the man. He's a
Listen,
snake.
man, I don't like abuse.
He's an artist.
I don't
There's
like
nothing worse. There's nothing worse than watching
that
a grown man with his head stuck up another man's ass, fucking just feeding him what he wants to hear. He's not a real reporter. He's not a real reporter. He just follows fighters around and licks their ass. And that for me is
exactly. He's a fanboy, Stu.
Yeah.
Look, I've always hated abusive people, like people who pick on the weak. But he's one of those guys I'll make those exceptions for, where I'll be like, yeah, man, just smack that motherfucker up.
He's a fucking Jew, man.
I'll look out for you. Go ahead. Go beat him up.
Like I say, he's probably tonguing Mikey's balls as we speak, bro.
Yeah, but
he's nothing but kiss ass fucking. He's nothing but
Mikey
kidding.
for the next person he's gonna start dick riding.
That's how Mikey's going to be close to Spence on fight night when it comes to weight. He's going to have fucking Ellie Setback stuck up his ass.
Ellie Setback's nothing but a kiss ass fucking Jew. That's all Ellie Setback is.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Setback. You know that George Soros story where he helped the Nazis against his own people. Oh, that's the sort of thing Setback would do.
He's one of those George Soros types, right?
Yeah, Setback made his fortune selling Jewish gold. Holocaust.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Yo, we got Precise on the line, man. Precise, what's up, bro? If you can hear us.
Precise. I guess.
Maybe you just listen.
Hey, your internet's fucking trash.
Sorry, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
you good, bro.
What's up, everybody? Are you still talking boxing or sharing war stories?
Talking about Eddie Setback.
Well, we were talking about Elliot Setback. What's your take on the Keith Thurman and Lopez?
I thought Lopez fought like a fucking bum, man. I mean, he had the fight. He wasn't cutting the ring off. He wasn't throwing the right kind of punches at the right time. He wasn't jabbing on his way in. It's like he was there to lose or something. And I know, like, he really pushed Keith Thurman and all that, but there were just small things he needed to do, and he would have knocked his ass out, I felt like. It's funny because when they were talking about him fighting Jesse Vargas, I thought it was a really good fight, and I was giving Vargas a really good chance, and people were like, no, you're overrating Vargas, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't. I was never really that big on Keith, and I don't know. I mean, I guess he deserves a break because he was off for a couple of years, but that also helps you rest your body, so I don't know. Keith Thurman's just not all that, I guess.
Didn't Josecito fight Jesse Vargas back in the day, a few years back?
Yeah, Lopez won Vargas won a controversial majority decision, split decision. They went like tooth and nail. They're basically the same kind of fighter, you know what I mean?
I remember it being a pretty close fight. I just couldn't remember who the hell won. Yeah.
I think both of them have gotten better since then, but Josecito took some major beatings, you know, and Vargas not really. So
Right.
You could understand why Keith ducked Jesse Vargas. I mean, you know, that could have been just enough to you know, Vargas being a little bit better than Josecito Lopez, he could have won that.
A little bit more fresher too, right? Like a little bit more fresher fighter in terms of not taking that much beating. It could have.
Yeah, when
he's had some wars, man.
Yeah.
He's had some wars.
You know, when they say a fighter, when he's hurt, he's more dangerous, and that's true, and that you have a very high chance of knocking the guy that's hurting you out. That's the problem I have with Thurman. I didn't see no strategy, even on you know, like he was hurt. You would think, you know, his instincts will tell him, "Man, I got to defend myself," but he just froze.
I feel like he freezes up I don't. I would have to go back to his fights. I'm wondering if it comes down to that Collazo fight, the body shot. I'm wondering if that ever fucked with his brain, you know, because sometimes a guy changes the way he fights due to a bad experience, right? To me, when Collazo hit him to the body, I saw a different man. This was not. It was like Keith Thurman, you know, the real Keith Thurman just died with that shot, and I thought that he's been fighting timid ever since. And I think even in that fight, there was some strange, for whatever reason, Collazo just quit, and you know, the fucking referee called it a TKO.
Yeah, dude.
Well, he didn't quit. He said, "Listen, I'm gonna leave it up to you." I thought it was the headbutt. Who knows, man? That fight was strange. But Keith Thurman hasn't, in my opinion, and maybe it was just that this is who he is. Maybe that's who he is. But I don't think he's been the same since that fight, especially that fight.
I think he was exposed for what he is exactly. I mean, you know,
that's exactly what I said.
He fought a bunch of like old guys or small guys on his way up. And that's fine. Shit happens, you know. But then when he got in the ring with somebody real, like Chavez, who wasn't that good, but solid fighter, right? I mean, he went life and death with that guy, and we just kind of forgot about it maybe because he finally stopped him, you know. But if his power doesn't tell on his opponent, he doesn't have the skill to fall back on, I feel like, you know.
And I said this to Bucho at the beginning of the show. I don't know if some of y'all might have been here, but that's why I said I don't want to see him fight Pacquiao, bro, because if Pacquiao hits him with some shit, Keith Thurman's going to be on the treadmill the rest of the fight. So
he's going to bring his bike.
Shit, you know
he's going to be on the bike.
Recognize.
You know what?
Go ahead,
I want to say, Gonzalo, I need to go because it's getting late and I've got to go work tomorrow.
All right, bro.
Recognize. You're going to hold it down for me, bro.
I'll hold it down for a little bit, yeah. No problem.
Yeah. I can't get hold of Butch.
You know,
hang on a sec, Gonzalo. God damn, man.
Yeah.
You're worse than my missus from fucking interrupting me, I tell you.
At least she gives it up.
Yeah, well, don't worry, Gonzalo. I'm not asking you to do that.
Apologies.
No, you're all right, brother. But yeah, I've got to go. I can't get hold of Butcher. I've tried texting him. So recognize it precisely. If you boys can hold it down. And I'll speak to you all guys. Well, probably next show. I don't know when the next show is. Probably Wednesday, I think. So I'll speak to you guys then.
Peace, though. Have a good one.
Peace. Later.
Enjoy your night.
Cheers, dude.
Hey, precise. I just didn't want to lose my train of thought. But when you said he doesn't have the skill, if his punching power cannot avail him, you know, I think he's got the punching power, but he's trying to develop or use his skills a little too much when he should be relying more on his power and committing and sitting down on his punches. He doesn't have the skill like he claimed he does. He's trying to improve on that, but he's totally disregarding the power that he does possess.
Yeah, you know, for me, it's like he doesn't really set up his power very well. It's so everything's wide open and obvious, and maybe he'll use a bit of a jab and he'll feint before he throws his power, but there's not a lot of variety there, and it's predictable. And the most annoying thing about Keith Thurman is he jumps up and down and moves around too much. He wastes too much movement. He's out of position too often where like you can't hit him, but he can't hit you either. And it's just so blatantly obvious when he's going to throw punches because he stops jumping around. So he's easy to read. He's predictable. That kid got skills, you know what I mean? It's just not on that elite level. And I think his power has really bailed him out in quite a few fights.
A good word.
When I saw him get hurt, Lopez was hitting him with everything and the kitchen sink. What I saw in his reaction more so than anything, and Keith Thurman, I might be wrong, is that he was in shock when he got hit, like saying to himself, I can't believe this happened to me. I'm supposed to be this good. I consider myself great. I talk the talk, but I got hit. And he was really shocked and stunned at the idea that this guy hurt him, and he couldn't put his mind into doing anything else.
I think the best way to sum up his style is frustrating, bro. That's the best way to sum up his style. It's frustrating. Watching him fight and shit, it's just irritating, frustrating. You know,
Like, he's talented and athletic. He just doesn't put it all together. You know what I mean?
right?
I'm predicting he's gonna say that he's injured again. The right hand or right arm. I believe he injured it again.
You think? You think so?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree, man. He had the exact same style all along. Go look at any of his fights. Go back to Guerrero, man. I'm telling you, it was a fucking. The sports writer could have had the exact same script and just put Josecito Lopez everywhere he saw Guerrero. It was the exact same script, man. Same movement, same lateral movement, sit down, punch, lateral movement, back on his bike again. It was the same thing, dude. No change. I don't buy anything's changed.
Hey, Captain Hook. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No problem. I'll try to be quick. So I think that, yeah, I agree with Captain. I think that Thurman is a classic example of American boxing today, where I mean I saw some improvements from him in the last couple of fights that I saw from him. But he's a classic example of American boxing where they tell you to just move, use your movement, and look slick, and that's all. But there's no
12 rounds and you win the fight.
Yeah, like Precise was saying, he's not fainting. He doesn't know what to do. In some kinds of ways, he's similar to me like Droner, meaning that he'll try to set you up for counter punch, but the way he just has one line of setting it up. For example, if you compare them to Floyd, where he's going first of all to control your hands, control your guard with some throwaway shots, and then with his feet and give another thing. Basic. Those are some good movements, but for anything he does, there's just only one line of attack for him, only one line of defense, only one way to counter, only one way to move. To use all of that, but it's just basic, and it's all based on movement and trying to look cute.
That's why it's like, do we know that they are really improvements when they might just be changes to the old style of fighting that he did have? I mean, and no style is perfect. It's a contact sport. But if you're getting hit more and applying your boxing, that what you call the technical aspect of the game, and then fighting the way you used to and getting guys out of there because they respect your punch more. I mean, I don't know if it can really be called an improvement. I think he's just shifting from his original style of fighting because he might have felt something hard in there, then he's not willing to trade no more, but it's not really helping him out because he's going to get more contact because the guys are not respecting his punch.
How many of you guys think that, from what you saw, obviously, from Thurman and then obviously Pacquiao, how many of you guys think that Pacquiao will still beat him?
I do.
I do think.
I think Thurman wins an ugly decision. I think Thurman wins an ugly decision when he's going to run a lot and
I'm not talking about
favor him.
I'm not talking about political. I mean, like actually beating him. Like actually, do you give him a shot? Like, or you do? Who do you think is going to really win the fight? Like, in your opinion?
I got Pacquiao winning.
Yeah, I got Pacquiao winning that.
Yeah.
But I'd guess I think there's a better chance there that Pacquiao would win by stoppage than by decision, because I mean Thurman is fresher, of course, and can move well, and so yeah, I know you said you don't want to talk about the robberies, but our honest opinions. But he also can truly output Pacquiao at this point. But the thing is that Pacquiao judging by the way he looked against Collazo and Lopez, man, if there was Pacquiao.
Would be if that fight was to ever happen, they'll set it up where it's like, look, tap and run, and make it to the 12th round. You're gonna win the fight. Don't let him beat you up too much.
Yeah, but sorry.
Wait, time out, guys.
Sorry, I'll be quick. I just wanted to add that I think that no matter the way he fights, seeing his fragility, I think that even this Pacquiao would maybe not take him out, but yeah, beat him and stop him.
It's gonna be exactly like the first Timothy Bradley fight, and if Thurman comes to fight, it's gonna be like the second or the third Bradley fight, because Pacquiao loves to fight these guys that bounce around. If you guys remember how he was timing Algieri or Timothy Bradley, because they bounce, and then they stop, so you know they're about to throw, and then Pacquiao just lunges it with that left hand, and he'll time Keith Thurman just the same way, I think.
I'm going to let him out of the cage. Though.
Yeah.
And after watching Thurman against Guerrero, I've kept on repeating that he's so open for the counters, because I thought he improved that in the last fights, but now he against Lopez, he showed me the same thing. He is cocking back too much, his power punches, and they're so telegraphed. I think that it would be easy for Pacquiao to counter him.
Did you guys see how much Pacquiao went to the body in this last fight? And him being a left-hander, he's got power in that left, and that liver's on the right side of your body. How many times did he go to the body? I think he incorporated that to his game. Talking about Thurman can handle the punch of the body.
I think that this fight was the first time since he came to welterweights that he started to punch to the body that much. I've never seen him doing that much body work since he came to welterweight division.
Watch the Mayweather fight again. He beat that fucking body like a drum. He just didn't get any credit for it. But
when he got him on the ropes, it happened, but not at this point. I mean.
Pacquiao.
Somebody was saying that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, Pacquiao would be an interesting fight, right? Because Thurman would try his lateral movement. And here's what I want to see, and something that I haven't seen to date, and I think it's going to end up being a problem, is Thurman's conditioning. How he looks in the latter rounds without being able to take rounds off by, if you go look at the Guerrero fight and the Sean Porter fight, he took rounds off, 2 and 3 rounds, taking them off by doing that running around, sit down, punch, get back on the bike, go around. And neither one of them were able to cut the ring off and go to the body. And I think when someone finally does that, it's going to be interesting to see if that's the reason he's actually getting on his bike like that.
All right, I'm back. I hope I'm not cutting off.
Because you notice in that...
in the chat, can you guys tell me if the stream is still fucking up? Because it doesn't look like it on my phone. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Captain. Go ahead.
No big deal. I was just saying, I think it's going to be interesting to see if that's the reason he's doing that, is because he knows, because he comes out active in the beginning of every fight. Every fight he comes out active, first 5 rounds. And then he starts in with that. As opposed to other fighters that stay on the bike the entire fight. His is like in periods, if that makes any sense.
Pacquiao in his prime would smash all these dudes, bro. Not now, they're probably good fights for him, but
easy. He fucking beats these dudes easy, man. Can you imagine Pacquiao that fought fucking Cotto, that fought Margarito, all these dudes? He smashes these boys.
Margarito's eye.
He makes these little boys quit. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Yeah, he does, bro.
No,
this is the reason I regressed on Thurman. It's because of the statements he makes. He just claimed in the press conference that he admits that Mayweather is the TBE. Because after giving it a thought, some time, he said that he believes Mayweather is the best 7-round fighter out there, and he's trying to copy that, meaning that he only needs 7 rounds to win a fight. So he can give up 5 and win 7. So that basically tells you he's going out there to box and do just enough to win.
Yeah,
70.
but
Oh,
go
go
on,
ahead,
man.
bro.
Okay, I'll be quick. Go on, man.
No, 78 thinks Floyd would beat Sugar Ray Leonard and shit, and that's a fucking joke. Sugar Ray Leonard would have smashed Floyd, and so would Tommy Hearns and Duran and all them dudes, bro. Get the
Hey,
hell out.
look, Johnny. When you told that in your video, I didn't know that video existed, the old 78 video, but I was shocked, and I could not stand seeing more than 30 seconds of that video, and I shut the shit down. But to say something about comparing Thurman comparing himself to Mayweather, well, the difference is when Mayweather was studying his opponents and giving up the rounds. It was in the beginning of the fight, and after that he do better afterwards. But with Thurman is just exactly the opposite. He is doing well in the beginning, and then probably due to his stamina.
And they probably figured him out too, official.
Yeah.
They probably figured Thurman out as well.
Yeah, also because
it's not that hard. It's not that hard
doing
to figure
the same things in the same way. Yeah.
Bro, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would give Crawford the definite a definitive edge over Thurman. I'm not saying he would smash him for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
At first, when I thought about a fight like that happening, I kind of went back to thinking like Bernard Hopkins, Winky Wright, when they were talking to like the people that they're two good boxers. There was going to be a real good chess match, one being left-handed, one being the right-handed, which Crawford is, he's both. But no, I just think the way he moves is very predictable, and I think Crawford wins that clearly.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be the favorite. Logical favorite, but Crawford's easy to hit, man. And if Thurman could pull out that punch, I mean, he'll test his chin. I know that much. So I favor Crawford, but I don't think it's an easy fight. And who backs who up in that fight? What do you guys think?
Who backs who up? What do you mean? Like
who comes forward? Who comes forward? Crawford or Thurman?
I'm gonna. You know what? That's a good question.
I think it'd be like a postal fight.
No,
the postal fight where they go back and forth.
Yeah, it goes back and forth. But if I had to say, yeah, maybe, and I'm not saying this with confidence. I'll say that it's Crawford backing him up more towards the ending. But yeah. I see what you're going with that question. It's not definite. I could see fucking TC getting on his bike against. Because he's gonna be able to get hit with some pretty big shots from Thurman, and he might have to just like fucking backpedal.
If Crawford buzzed Thurman like Josecito did last night, bro, he's gonna get him out of there too.
I would suspect that too. I would suspect that too. But don't you think that Thurman is gonna be ready?
Yeah,
it would be better
mentally.
No, you're right, bro. Yeah, for sure.
Look, I like Crawford. Don't get me wrong. I like Crawford. I really do. I like him, but I'm not totally convinced on him. I'm not totally convinced. Let me finish this, Gonzalo. I'm not totally convinced on him. There's a lot of times where he's gotten hit, and people are not talking about that. He gets hit in exchanges. He's getting hit with punches he doesn't see coming. And Keith Thurman might be better. Might sit down on those punches more, because he knows that he's got a dangerous opponent in front of him. And all I'm saying is if he cracks him, you might see Crawford saying, you know what, fuck this, I'm not going to take no chances. Because he did that with Postol. When he tried to box with him, Postol was catching him.
The little Cuban caught him with something.
Well,
in the very beginning of the fight.
You're
that
right,
another fighter would have got him in serious trouble.
It's just that he didn't fear Gamboa. Because he knew Gamboa was much smaller than him.
He had no respect for him.
Right. Yeah. Even though he hurt him, like you said, I agree, he did hurt him. But he was like, look, you're a little man. At the end, one of my punches is going to land, and I'm going to drop you. And he was right. He was right about that.
But that's a good point, because Thurman and Gamboa have a very similar style. Like, Gamboa is obviously much faster, but Thurman got longer arms, and he's bigger and stronger. Exactly. So Yeah, she should be able to catch him. It'd be interesting.
And look at go on, man.
No, I was just gonna say they was replaying Spence and Kell Brook the other night too. I was watching that shit, bro. Spence was getting touched up a lot in that fight, bro. I forgot how much Kell Brook was touching Errol Spence up in that fight.
Sure, but I just want to go back quickly to Thurman and Crawford. Well, watching that Crawford Benavides fight, I realized how much and how often Benavides was able to counter him. He countered the shit out of Crawford, and so I already told you earlier that I like the way Thurman counters. I think that he's a really nice counter puncher. So he would have a big chance there to catch him with some big counters.
That's why I say that fight's not as one-sided as maybe some people may feel sometimes, or at least in my opinion. Just in my opinion, I don't think that fight is that one-sided because of the counter-punching ability.
I think Thurman, he will only counter you hard based on his athleticism. When he can get in that range, and he knows that he can get away with it. If you have Crawford in there, I think he's going to back up and play that seesaw game to see who lands first, kind of like what Postal did. And I think based on their boxing skills, Thurman would be the one to be frustrated sooner and get touched up early in that fight.
Real quick, fellas. I gotta roll, bro. I got stuff I gotta do. So everybody have a good night. I'll talk to you next time. All right, fellas.
See you.
All right, peace, bro.
All right, peace out.
I think Crawford fights the way he fought Beltran. I think he sticks and moves because if he goes after, at least in the beginning, because if he goes after Thurman, he's gonna get caught, and if he gets caught, that's like 6 to 7 rounds before he gets his bearings back, man. I mean, in Benavides, that guy didn't hit very hard. I don't know, man. I don't know. Crawford's chin is a little suspect.
I might be in the.
Hey, have you noticed how skinny his neck is?
Gonzalo, hold on.
Hold on, Gonzalo. Let the man finish. Yeah.
I'm saying I might be in the minority of this, but I do not get Crawford, man. I don't get it. I don't get when he fights. I don't see what people see in him. I think he had plenty of opportunity to take Benavides out, and he just didn't do it, man. I thought he fucking carried him, to be honest with you. I thought he could have. I think he could have had him out in the 8th round, 9th round of that fight, and I think he carried his ass. I didn't see it, man. And he never leaves. He never leaves Omaha, man.
When you say carried him, do you mean like he's literally just extending the rounds, or do you mean like he's playing it cautious until he can find that perfect moment to grow balls and just go for the knockout?
So I won't speak on that because I don't know what's in his head.
If you had to,
if I had to guess, I'm not even. I hate to.
I'm gonna give you my answer. I'm gonna give you my answer. I think he's playing it safe. That's my answer.
You think he's playing?
Now again,
fair enough. Yeah, dude.
I think he's playing it safe, waiting for that perfect knockout, and that's what keeps Terrence Crawford in danger. That's what makes him. That's what puts him in danger against fast fighters, like Precise said, like a guy who's able to counter like Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, different styles. But Errol Spence, he's the thing about Errol Spence. He's not afraid of, he's not looking for the perfect situation to knock you out. He's trying to knock you out. That's what he's trying to do. That's it. And so that's what puts him. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Shepard says that he fought in England. When did he fight in England?
Ricky Burns.
Long time
ago.
He did fight.
Oh, okay. Big.
That was a tough fight for him too.
He's a regular traveler. Sorry. Yeah, the one time he goes outside of fucking Omaha, he has a tough fight against it. Right. He fights a bum. He has a tough time. Thank you.
He went there to get Ricky Burns' title anyways, so.
Yeah, I've probably been the most skeptical up until this point anyway of Terrence Crawford on this show. But I give the guy credit, he's got skills, but for me, I don't see no pound for pound from Terrence Crawford.
Man. Fuck no.
You're at 147, and we can't even say that you're the best in your own division. And what he did at 140, I mean, come on, man. Like, yeah, it's great to get all the belts, but we already know the story there, so I won't even go there. But, you know, now that he's at 147, his power's not there. And, I mean, he hasn't fought anybody. Like, the beating that Pacquiao put on Jeff Horn, and I don't know how everybody scored that fight, but I thought Pacquiao won that fight clearly. But the beating that Pacquiao put on him, and Horn, in my opinion, just hasn't been the same fighter, and it wasn't that good to begin with.
Dude, he chopped his face up in the 9th round. He chopped him up, bro. That was this.
I agree that Pacquiao won that fight.
Go ahead, Boxing Junkie. Go ahead.
Yeah, he did some plastic surgery on him in that 9th round, I believe it was.
Yeah, he chopped his face up, man. He had him.
Yes, he did. It was like he had a razor in his fucking hands.
And if you guys rewatch that stoppage, like Terence Crawford was tagging him up, but he couldn't put him down. So I gotta question his power. Pacquiao cracked. He didn't put him down either. But when he cracked Jeff Horn was fucking on Queer Street. So I mean,
you can't say Queer Street.
Boys Town. He was in Boys Town.
Whoever tells you that Queer Street thing, by the way, call him a fucking idiot. Because if you go look at it, the coin was turned. The term was coined a couple decades, even a century before anytime queer had anything to do with homosexual. It had to do with the street. It had to do with the street that all the banks were on. And so when they said you were on Queer Street, you're in a bad place.
I'm just
following
YouTube guidelines.
But not to get too much off topic, but
thank you, Recognize.
Hey, what's up? A friend of mine, just a little side note, I hope we don't go down that fucking rabbit hole, but a friend of mine just came back from US and she had a medical exam. This was in Massachusetts, I believe. And on the form that she was filling out, she had 6 options for gender.
Yeah.
That's great. You ought to see in Baltimore when they do their fucking march. There's 7-foot goddamn tall transvestites that are in fucking gangs and they take over the city, man. They
Homo thugs.
Homo thugs. Let me tell you something. Homo thugs in New York.
One day by one of these fucking trannies that are fucking gangbanging. It's fucking ridiculous.
You see that?
But anyway,
you see that video that went viral
six different genders. Goddamn.
Of the transgender woman, man. I don't know what they call them, but whatever. Yeah, exactly. She's in the fucking, she's in the fucking game store, and this poor kid, dude. He can't be more than fucking 15 years old, and she's going, "You call me ma'am." Shit, this bitch is 6'5".
Yeah, we saw that video.
And this kid's just sitting there, and he's going, and he's just like fucking sitting there trying not to laugh, first of all, because he's in high school. And second of all, it's like, I'm looking at this video like, dude, this kid does not get paid nearly enough to deal with this motherfucker.
Yeah, this awesome. Is like...
Wow, this stream's fucking up today, man. This whole thing's fucking up. It's not because people are dropping, but I hear that people are cutting off.
It's the Illuminati, man. Come on.
I think so, man.
It's the Illuminati.
But back to Thurman, if you guys are interested. Are there any plans? Because I wasn't paying attention to what's he supposed to be doing next?
He wants another tune-up.
He's gonna fight Berto.
No, well, from what I understand, he's gonna be ready for Crawford or Spence in 2020. So I think he wants to do 2 or 3. No, it's true.
You're fucking around, man.
It's true.
No, he's probably right. Wait a second. He's probably.
I'm not joking.
I bet.
He said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, true.
Well, he couldn't have said that because in the before the fight, he was talking about he wanted to fight 3 times in 2019. That's what he said. Now, I'm sure Al Heyman was in the back fucking punching a wall when he was saying it, but he was on Keith Thurman's earpiece fucking.
Listen, his next opponent is going to be Berto.
Devin Alexander.
And then
he's going to come out of fucking,
Heyman probably smacked Thurman across the mouth like a pimp and was like, How many times do I have to tell you? When they ask you your future, you say you have to get with your team and figure out what's going on.
Hey, by the way, guys,
did they even let him keep that belt, man? That's
my
gotta be
bitch talking out of turn.
yeah,
Him and his
22
bitch
months,
talking out of turn.
and
Well,
the
I mean,
WBA allowed him to keep the fucking belt. 22 months without fighting, and you keep a belt? Come on. And there's been other situations where, like, you're fucking have 6 months, you don't defend your title, they take it away from you. So, come on. It's a joke.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
they had a Timex ticket
Crawford
waiting on fucking on Triple G to not sign up for his mandatory against this kid, whatever the fuck his name is, Derevyanchenko. They had a Timex ticket. They were like, okay, here we go. Okay, you're stripped.
by the way, Crawford is gonna be fighting Amir Khan, as you all know. I think that's at the MGM Grand, and
yes.
So and they just announced, the PBC just announced that Danny Garcia Granados fight will be also on the same day in the same city. I don't know why they're doing that.
Why? That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Welterweight division, man. It's like so much talent and no fucking fights. Fuck this division, man. Next time somebody says welterweights is where it's at, man, smack them around.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
That's
true.
fucking dead on.
Look, man, the thing.
In the same fucking room, he can put together whatever fucking fights he wants, and he lets these motherfuckers take a year off, go do what they want. I see Gervonta riding around a fucking Rolls Royce. He looks like he's 200 fucking pounds. This shit's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Them boys are they're gonna kill him in fucking Baltimore. He keeps doing that shit.
Just like you. Just
And they
like you
always
said.
got like, sorry, man. I'm just gonna say
No,
this.
after you, no
They
problem.
got like every time I look at the pound for pound list, there's at least like 2 or 3 welterweights on there. It's like, come on, man, can we just like sort this shit out? If you're gonna have a welterweight on it, that's fine, but 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, first of all, I think from the welterweight division, only Crawford deserves to be on pound for pound list, but on the bottom of not on the bottom, but surely not top 2 positions. And then hearing as a captain, was it captain who said that they have all those fighters and can't make a good match? Well, yeah, and that's the proof that that guy Spence saying that Crawford is on the wrong side of the street is crazy, because they had all the time to make all those fights between them inside of PBC, and they did nothing. And the last thing, fuck, I forgot what I wanted to say. Go on.
You know, it's that wrong side of the. You're absolutely precise, first of all. But second of all, you're seeing this with Al Heyman and PBC. So like his whole idea of buying airtime instead of, in other words, he's paying them. They're not paying. They're not. The money's going in the opposite direction as it was in the past. And this idea, I'm going to buy airtime. I'm going to build up my brand, and then I'm going to wait for the advertisers to come so that eventually the money can start flowing in the proper direction again. Okay, that's only going to work if Al Heyman can starve all the other promoters out, and get fighters all under his card. So basically, if he allows those fights, if they allows the fighter to cross the street, so to speak, then his business plan goes to shit. So you're not going to see these crossovers, and you're going to continue to see the welterweight, and you're seeing it mostly in the welterweight division, because you have the divide between promoters. So we thought this was going to be great, right? We thought HBO going away and PBC starting up, we thought it was going to be a paradigm shift, but it's exactly the same, maybe even worse now, because Heyman has to rely so much on not crossing the street. It's fucking embarrassing, man.
Yes, well, look, you guys been asking the reason why would he make a fight between Garcia and Granados on the same day as Crawford Khan. Well, I think that the reason is that they want just to fuck up the viewership for Crawford, so they can try to negotiate the better split for Spence or something like that. It looks to me it's the only logical reason to do it.
If Amir Khan had a chin, he would just dominate.
Yeah,
well,
probably.
I don't know. He has a lot of speed, but I don't know. He can be outboxed, I guess, because there's a lot of wasted movement with this guy. He's running around the ring, but excessively. Oh, it's a good. I've had this debate with somebody else. I don't think Khan is that good though. What do you guys think?
He comes in straight lines.
Yeah, exactly. And he keeps his hands down, so he gets tagged. Let's say he has a chin. Okay, he's still gonna get tagged a lot. But he has a lot of speed, though. I don't know.
You know, when you say a fighter abuses his power, and that's how he can be exposed, I think he abuses his speed.
What was that? You kind of cut off.
He said he thinks he uses his speed for power.
He abuses his speed. He abuses his speed.
Yeah. He gets like trigger happy, you could say.
It's like using speed with no content, right? Like you're throwing it out there. You're not really doing any damage.
Yeah.
Kind of like Yorgis Gamboa.
Oh, good example, man.
Right. You see, like Pacquiao was using speed, but there was intent behind that.
Yeah.
It was to fuck you up. That was.
Oh, and he was setting up those punches with feints and everything. Amir Khan just goes there and throws everything.
Yeah. Oh, he's faster than Pacquiao. Well, you would be faster if you're not trying to do anything. You just like shot, throwing at the air. I mean, sometimes
like Garcia.
Sometimes I see him throwing punches.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, he might as well just be shadow boxing for that,
Khan with this speed is like Thurman with this power. Everything's fast. You know what I mean? He doesn't like take some of the speed off and set up his shots. It's easy to time him if you're willing to take one, because everything's just super fast and at the same speed. So it makes him a little bit predictable like that. But I don't know what you guys thought, but the last fight he had, whoever that bum was,
Vargas.
he didn't look that fast to me anymore. I don't know what you guys
He
thought.
looked garbage in that fight. I thought he was, and he looked like there was something, like even the speed, which is
it may have been
going away.
It may have been that fucking. It may have been that bomb fucking Canelo put on his chin. I didn't get that.
Those knockouts are catching up with him, man.
Fuck yeah, they are, man.
How old is he? 30? He's getting into his 30s.
Fucking Amir Khan, believe that. He ain't gonna be able to say his name.
Yeah, he keeps getting knocked out like that.
I did not get that fight at all when he was going up to Canelo, and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing, dude?" Like,
Canelo thought he killed him for a second.
Listen, I think we all thought that Canelo was going to knock him out, right? Like we all thought that, and it happened, and it was probably even a little worse than we thought.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
You guys see the meme where his soul's leaving his body?
Yeah.
Dude, he acted as if maybe I shouldn't say this. This is like kind of cruel. You ever seen a guy get shot in the face?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You ever see the jaw movement that they make when they're on the floor? They go like it's like like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was doing, bro.
Back and shit.
Yeah, he was doing the jaw movement and the eyes rolling back. I was like, damn, bro.
Yeah, I thought for sure
you got murdered. Yeah,
I've seen it before, right? Once you seen it, you looked at Khan. I was like, man, he ain't getting up.
Yeah, you thinking that something really bad, because even for Canelo, they're only gonna turn back when they feel like they maybe hit you really fucking hard. Like he did that twice, I think. He did that.
Then we can rewind
Kirkland.
back to Danny Garcia catching him with that hook.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
so you see Pop-Tart Gun in the chat. He's comparing Khan's chin speed equals Roy Jones Jr.'s chin speed. Yeah, no. Back up. No.
Yeah, but Chris Gonzalez is saying I prefer Roy Jones better. Don't tell Precise. We all know Precise hates Roy Jones.
Wait, what,
I was about to say that as well.
What was that?
Don't get Precise rolling on Roy Jones.
Yeah, or Roy Jones.
Now that he's Russian, I actually like him. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He got himself a dual citizenship. My man.
He's a Russian now. I'm thinking about X's video when he called Roy Jones a communist.
The commie bastard.
Roy Jones don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers raising chickens in Alabama or some shit.
Yeah, did you guys see the Roy Jones meeting he had with Vladimir Putin?
Oh yeah.
No,
what
I
the
didn't see that.
fuck was that all about?
Yeah,
the guy's there for
it.
tax evasion, though. That's why.
They love him over there.
Yeah,
He gets a check over there.
yeah, but I thought Russians were racist, though. They're all fucking a bunch of racists. So I don't know why they would like welcome a
I
guy
guess
like
they
Roy
give
Jones.
a pass with Roy, you know. The blacks are racist, if you ask me, where I grew up at, but they gave me a pass after a while.
Oh,
You know, they could only jump me so many times.
you gained their
I like
trust.
you
gained their trust.
I like how you just cast that. I like how you just cast the net over an entire race of people saying they're racist. I think Russians are all racist, aren't they? They're not one single one of them. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiot.
The Russians,
Yeah.
Russians are evil.
They're racist.
The Russians are, generally speaking, studies show 99% of Russians are fucking racist. They hate black people.
Exactly. They eat babies too, you know.
Of course, yeah, I heard that.
But Roy Jones, Amir Khan, he just never really had a good chin. Lou DeVal showed you that.
Dude.
Lou DeVal showed you that.
I don't know.
Yeah, if
Lou DeVal tapped that boy. Go look at that punch. First of all, it was bad defense. It's more bad defense. Roy Jones had a habit of bending down, lining up right to that left, and DeVal just knew it, timed him. But he should have punched Roy a little harder. Probably would have got him out of there, bro.
But like I recognize all that shit when Roy talks. You know,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a little punch
Roy didn't have a great chin, but I mean, come on, this is Amir Khan we're talking about. That's a
Well,
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
I
That's what I'm
think
saying.
what it
Come
comes.
on, let's back up here.
What I'm saying is it comes from bad defense. Is what I'm saying. Bad defense.
It's
Roy
gonna end
Jones-
up bad for Khan.
Go look at
It
the
already
knockdown.
has.
Go look at the knockdown Roy suffered from Lou DeVal. Roy is the reason why he got knocked down. It's his fault. He's fighting a southpaw, and he lines himself up. So Lou DeVal, from what I remember, throws like a point jab, a right jab, right? And Roy, what does he always do? He does that side movement, backs up with his head down, and he lines himself up with that straight left. And he fell down hard, bro. If Lou DeVal would have had a little bit more power, he would have knocked Roy out, bro. He would have knocked him out.
I think the comparison here with Roy is when he lost his athleticism, he was KO'd in a row after the Johnson and the Talsver and the Lebedev. Everybody started getting him when they sensed blood because he didn't have no more reflexes.
Dude, look how he was getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Look how he was getting knocked out.
Same with Taylor, Jermaine Taylor.
It was like embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know,
But more so, if Khan doesn't have a chin now, when he starts losing his speed, you know, what's he gonna rely on? He doesn't have good. He's got decent punching power, but when he loses his speed and he can't rely on his speed, he don't have a chin. Man, that's just gonna end up real bad. Every time he steps, he's gonna get KO'd like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Or 4 until they put an end to it. They take away his license.
I remember.
He's going to.
I'm just gonna say that
I don't think he'll take away anyone's license.
Virgil Hunter.
Look at fucking Meldred Taylor. Meldred Taylor was fighting, you know, a couple years ago.
He was fighting punch drunk. I mean, he was literally going in the ring like.
They gave him a fucking license.
And they gave him a license. Yeah.
Yep.
You could sell tickets. If you could sell tickets, you can get a license, bro. Mike Tyson is 50, right? 52, 50 something.
He's
Mike Tyson
56, 53.
Mike Tyson, I bet you could get a license.
Oh fuck yeah!
Sure.
And he's 53.
But when Khan loses his speed, he's going to get knocked out stare downs.
Yeah. I still want to see Pacquiao Spence. I don't give a fuck. He gets knocked out, whatever. He has a legacy already. Just make that fight happen.
I think that fight's
these
going to
fuckers are
happen.
not even
I think
fighting. These fuckers
I
are
think
not
more
even
likely
fighting,
it's gonna
man.
happen.
Sean Porter's not fighting anybody, and you have Garcia fighting. Well, who cares about Garcia? But they're not fighting each other, man. And Spence Jr., why is he fighting Mikey Garcia? Oh, because Garcia called him out. So what? If Spence is really serious about his legacy and unifying the division, you're gonna say, you know what, Mikey, you're too small. Fuck off. And then I have a fucking mission. I have to unify the division. But nah.
No,
It's all a
Terrence
fucking
Crawford called him out. He's saying that, you know, Mikey, I want to fight Mikey because Mikey called me out. Well, Terrence Crawford called you out as well.
Yeah, I'll call him out, and I want a payday. You know, you have to accept. Get out of here. What
Yeah,
is
big
this
stuff.
shit? What is this shit?
How much do you think these fighters? I'm talking about behind the scenes stuff. How much credit can you really give these fighters though? For I know they call people out and everything, but as far as choosing who they fight, like on an honest percentage wise, how much do you think they really have control over it? I would say it's 30%. The other 70 comes from if they're represented by Al Heyman, it comes from him, or their promoter. But honestly,
It depends on how much confidence they have on you. How much confidence, what type of fighter you are. If you're a beast, they're gonna put all their confidence in their chips in your stock. You know, if they have no confidence in you, that's just a reflection of the type of fighter you are. It depends how vocal you are too as well.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, if Al Heyman, if you do any type of reading on that dude, if you're under him, he's telling you what to do. You're not coming up boisterous or I'm gonna fight this guy. I want to fight this guy. He's telling you exactly who you're gonna fight and exactly how it's gonna happen and when it happens.
Yeah.
It definitely seems that way. It definitely seems that that's what's going on with Al Heyman and the PBC. Is he makes the fights, and when it always seems like even when he puts on the good fights, he's got it covered. He's like, look, of course, I know how this fight's gonna. I know how the fight's gonna turn out. It's gonna turn out the way whatever Al Heyman's plan is.
Yeah, you can see it coming.
But it'll affect you. It'll affect you. I saw this video, about like if you're on fire and you're knocking everybody out. And let's say, for example, you sign with Al Heyman. He's gonna put your career on hold, and you're gonna lose that fire. And and that streak that you were on, you're gonna be baby and coddled, and you're not gonna be the same fighter. So that's what he does to his fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened with all the fighters that came from Golden Boy.
Look, if Dillian White goes with the PBC, whatever streak he's got going on, he's gonna lose that.
Yeah, and the momentum.
Like, I'm upset with what's happening with the kid from Baltimore, Gervonta. Of course, I'm biased and I like the kid, but it's like they're just sitting him on the shelf and fucking Al can make whatever the fuck fight he wants to.
I started thinking about him. Yeah.
Oh, everybody fucking dropped. Well, before everybody gets back, did you guys hear this interview with the Chinese boxer that boxed on the zone? Hold on.
What was it? What was the Chinese boxer's name?
Listen to this. Oh, fuck, play.
Where did all that power come from? It's from China. I can win this fight.
It's from China?
Yeah, because they asked him, where does all the power come from? It's from China. That was pretty funny. All right, somebody was talking. Who was it? Go ahead.
Comes from
I
China.
started thinking about Gervonta Davis on how he's 23 years old and they're taking him step by step. And when he gets older, nobody guarantees, especially like you guys talking about Baltimore, if he's gonna be able to stay disciplined, and also particularly with his weight. You think honestly Gervonta Davis could fight at lightweight or junior welter?
Well, the way he's walking around. The way he's walking around.
But remember that African kid that just got beat up, the Neho kid from Ghana. He's a small fighter for that division, but he's stocky and everything. But let's say Gervonta Davis, he's 23. when he's 28 years old and starts gaining that more of that size that he cannot take off, he's not really that tall. Will he be able to compete like in a super lightweight, junior welter, rounds?
Nah, I think he'll end up like an Adrian Broner, truthfully. If it goes that route, and it's going that route.
Yeah, and see, Boxing Junkie, I agree with you on Al Heyman, of course, but I think that Gervonta Davis, who I do like a lot, I mean, I see a big potential in him, but I think that in that particular case, he's the one who doesn't want to the real fights neither, because remember, just a couple of months ago, Floyd was threatening him of setting up the fight against Lomachenko,
which he wants none of. Look, I attended a fight, the Lomachenko fight. All right, Gervonta Davis was in the crowd. It was obvious Gervonta does not want anything to do with Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because,
and I think Floyd is aware of that, and I think that's the reason why he throws it out there. Like when they get into their little spat, their beef between each other.
Right.
You notice that Floyd would right away be like, "We're thinking about making a Lomachenko fight."
Yeah. After he said that fight ain't going to be made, for a while.
What do you guys think about this? I believe that not everybody's fighters' prime is around the same age. Like
who's doing cocaine, man? Come on.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That was me. I just saw something.
All right.
So, like Mike Tyson's prime was when he was a younger fighter, when he was 21, 22. What type of body you think Gervonta will have when he's 29, 30? I think Gervonta's time is now. If they coddle him to like the later years, I'm almost guaranteed he's not going to be anything what they think he promises to be.
Yeah, he can pull off some victories now because of his explosiveness. If he start I get what you're saying, Gonzalo. If he gets older and starts losing that explosiveness, it's not gonna. What else can he do? What can he possibly do? I get it. I think that a guy like Lomachenko will beat him. Would more likely beat him now, but at least Lomachenko has like boxing pedigree to fall back on when maybe he starts losing his speed. When he starts losing speed, he still can rely on outboxing you. Where I'm not too sure Gervonta Davis could do that, and he's still young. What 23 years old. So he's still pretty young, but he's. He's more living like a gangster lifestyle, like Boxing Junkie said.
Right?
He's got driving fancy cars in Baltimore.
He's on the west side of Baltimore right now, in a neighborhood that he has no business in a street with nothing but abandoned fucking homes.
And from the way I understand it, West Baltimore is probably the most dangerous part of Baltimore, right?
It is. Yeah. That's a fact.
And it could very well be that the best Gervonta Davis will never beat the best Lomachenko. But that's no reason for the fight, maybe for it to never happen. Gervonta Davis could be on his best, and Lomachenko could be exiting his prime, and Lomachenko might still be too good enough to beat Gervonta Davis. Does that mean we're not going to see the fight?
And just let me say this. If Gervonta hit Loma with the shot that Pedraza hit him with, he'd go to sleep. So
probably
it's a fight I want to see.
You know something? I'm not 100% convinced of that, Boxing Junkie, but here's what I will say. Boxing, what do we say? Sometimes the way to beat a boxer is you knock him out. You get a lucky shot, so to speak, right? Gervonta Davis definitely has the speed and power that he should give it a try, and you never know. Like you said, he might hurt Lomachenko and keep him hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but you're not gonna find out if you're not giving it, if you're not trying to make the fight happen, and you're getting worse. In terms of like how you keep yourself outside the ring.
Well,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Abner
and
Mares
insight
fight,
too.
the Abner
And
Mares
insight.
fight is gonna give you, it's gonna give us a good, assessment or an idea of how good Davis is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Abner Mares is a fucking piece of
believe
shit.
Gervonta Davis is, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just freaking out here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I believe Gervonta Davis is prime is now. You got to take advantage. You also got to put him in there 2-3 times a year. That's how you gain the experience. He might be there, but not have the experience. So how does he gain the experience? Fighting, and it's something that
God damn it.
now next year now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys.
I think
Hey, guys.
Loma hits just as hard as
sorry.
as Gervonta Davis. I think he hits
Y'all-
just as hard, if not harder.
Y'all have a good night, guys. I'm out of here.
All right, take care, man.
Have a
Later,
good night.
All right, guys.
See you, buddy.
I think I'm gonna end this discussion because the Hangouts, it's there's some issues here, so I'm gonna end the show. It's gonna be all
All
fucked
right.
up. It's all choppy.
Peace to the panel. Peace to everybody
Yeah.
at the chat. To the next time.
Gentlemen,
everybody.
it was my pleasure.
All right, thank you for.
Don't shoot nobody.
Don't shoot
Yes.
nobody, boxing junkie. Don't.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
Go shimmy that bamboo stick a little, brother.
Sincerely, because I see the guy this happened to. All right, he tried to jack me. I blasted him. I beat the case. It's over with. I see him on the street. It's just
Yeah,
the
you
way it
frightened
is.
me when you said that. You kind of scared me, man. But I understand now. I understand where you're coming from.
All right, fellas.
Just remind me.
We were kids.
Just remind me not to cut you off when you're speaking, man.
Yeah, don't worry,
I don't
man.
want to get hurt.
Don't worry.
Gonzalo.
The guy with
Don't worry,
that killed
Gonzalo.
the guy.
Hey, you guys come to Baltimore. There's a side called the county side. All right, I'm over here now. It's all good.
All right. We got the
We
Baltimore
would enjoy it.
invitation.
You guys would have a great time and be
All right,
safe.
later, recognize.
Peace out, y'all.
All right.
Mucho.
Take care, guys. Yeah, we had some technical issues, so tomorrow I'll try to do another show so we can keep on talking about what happened this weekend. But all right, guys, take care, and we'll see you next time.